And you could go in at your time and at your leisure and say, ooh, fundamentals of business expansion. I want to get better for personal growth and organize community for action, servant leadership, fundamentals starting and run a business. Lots of great, great information here. Please take advantage of it. Actually, last month we saw it had a glitch where you couldn't access. We all got worried. So before it goes away, take advantage. And now we're gonna look for our thingy here, digital marketing for entrepreneurs, right? Oh, let's introduce Ricqcolia. Ricqcolia, do you want to say hi?
Hi, good morning, everyone. I think Sham kind of gave like a quick overview because I know we have to get into, the meat and potatoes of everything. But yes, I'm really excited to be here, and I always love sharing my insight and experiences when it comes to digital marketing, social media marketing, and content marketing, especially from a local perspective, because I think we tend to see all of the insights, from America, from wherever in the world. So I'm very happy to be here to share any local insights and tips and tricks of the trade. So yeah, come with all the questions.
All right, thank you, Ricqcolia. All right, so come here, let's take the course. I believe it's 3 videos and a quiz at the end. So make sure you all are taking notes. Wait a minute, I have to make sure I'm able to share some. Let's start.
There are many reasons why entrepreneurs are starting and running businesses online. The startup costs are relatively low, the potential to reach customers outside of your local area, the flexibility of both time and space, and the ability to design and implement marketing campaigns that help you build a profitable relationship with your customers, who are primarily living in a digital world. In this course, we will cover digital marketing for entrepreneurs. We will discuss practical ways entrepreneurs can develop and maximize marketing for their online businesses. It will cover such topics as personal branding, best practices for website design, keys to developing a digital marketing strategy, and ways to maximize your online marketing using available tools like social media and search engines. This course was written by Christopher Gray. This lesson is creating your online brand. In this lesson, you will learn to understand the key differences between traditional marketing and online marketing. We will talk about the key components of personal branding and why creating a personal brand is important for you and your business. Christopher grew up in deep poverty during a national recession in a single-parent household in Birmingham, Alabama. With limited access to computers and no access to internet at home, but the desire to go to college, he searched for scholarships, ultimately winning $1.3 million to study finance and entrepreneurship at Drexel University. The challenges and rewards of his experience gave him the idea for a mobile app that helps students easily find scholarships for college and helps graduates pay off their student debt when attending US-based institutions. In 2013, he founded Scholly. The company was named in Inc. magazine's top college startups, won Under Armour's Cupid's Cup competition, and won former AOL executive Steve Case's Rise of the Rest competition. Christopher was named Ernst & Young's Entrepreneur of the Year for 2015 for Philadelphia and as one of Forbes' 30 Under 30 for 2016. As Christopher writes, creating your personal and company's online brand is a critical component to any successful digital marketing strategy. That's because your online brand has the power to leave a lasting impression on potential buyers, whether they're ready to buy from you now or in the future. But before we get into how you develop your online brand and infuse it into every part of your business's digital marketing strategy, it's important that we first understand the key differences between traditional marketing and online marketing. According to the American Marketing Association, marketing is the activity, set of institutions, and processes for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. Traditional forms of marketing communicate and advertise a company's offerings through newspapers, magazines, telephone books, radio, and TV. But as you're probably well aware, these days, most people aren't spending as much time looking at any of those forms of media as they do looking at their phones, computers, and tablets. So digital marketing is all about adapting those traditional marketing techniques to fit digital channels, such as search engines, websites, social media, email, and mobile apps. Where, Christopher asks, does personal branding fit in? A strong personal brand guides how you market your company on those digital channels. But this doesn't happen by accident. Creating a personal brand requires you to really think about where your personal mission and the mission of your company intersect. Generally, when creating your personal brand, Christopher says that you want to make sure that it is focused. What is the key message that you want to deliver to your audience? If you had to choose one thing, what do you want people to know about you and your company? Consistent. You want to make sure that you're presenting the same message on all channels, online and offline, so that people aren't confused if they interact with your company in more than one place. Trustworthy. Consumers want to buy from brands that they trust. But if they feel that you're trying to force a connection to build that trust, you could damage the relationship between customers and your business. Relatable. Consumers also want to be able to see themselves as part of your brand. So, studying your target customer is necessary to align your mission with their values. And as he mentioned before, all of this can directly influence and enhance how you market and sell your business. For example, when it comes to sales, having a strong and memorable brand helps you stand out from your competitors, build trust among consumers, entice customers to buy from you again in the future, and makes it easy for people to refer your business to their friends. Christopher says that one of the best places to really build and establish your personal brand is on your business's website. When building your website, you'll want to make sure your brand is reflected in things like domain name, which should be easy for customers to remember and associate with your business. Design, including the colors, logos, fonts, and any other visual elements. Content on every page, including your About Us page, contact page, testimonials, reviews, and descriptions for your products or services. Calls to action that tell people how you want them to buy from or engage with your business. When creating your website, it's also important that you're optimizing it to be used and found by your target users with minimal effort. For example, your website needs to be fully functional on desktops and all mobile devices. If it's not optimized for mobile devices, you could lose a lot of potential visitors for your website. In the first quarter of 2021, mobile web traffic accounted for 54.8% of all global web traffic. You'll also want to make sure your website's navigation bar is intuitive and easy for customers to understand. Creativity and using plays on words might regularly be part of your brand identity, but it shouldn't be part of your website's navigation because it might confuse visitors. So, aim for clarity when it comes to navigation. Lastly, Christopher says that if you want potential customers to find your website organically on search engines or without paid ads, then you'll need to also focus on search engine optimization. Search engine optimization, or SEO, is the practice of optimizing your website to be exactly what people are searching for whenever they type a query related to your business into a search engine like Google or Bing. Search engines rank your website for how well they think your website matches the intent and content of the search term, also known as a keyword. To increase your visibility, you need to first figure out what your target audience uses to search for topics related to your business. This is called keyword research. Then you'll want to use those keywords to guide you in creating content that regularly appears on the first page of search engine results, like blog posts, images, videos, infographics, or ebooks, product descriptions for the items you sell. You can also optimize your website for search engines by using keywords in your website's web addresses, also known as URLs, title tags or page titles, alt tags or descriptions of images, meta descriptions, a short description of your page that appears under the link on search engines. With your established online brand and functioning website, your next step is to make sure consumers know about it with a solid digital marketing strategy. For more on this course and to access related resources, visit our website.
All right. So good. If you have any questions in the chat, guys, please put them down so you can forward them to Ricqcolia. What was said there? Does it make sense for us here in Trinidad or not really?
Oh no, this is very much on point, and this is actually something that when I'm interfacing with clients, potential clients, or just generally advising people on a whole, building a digital presence, like this is the foundations of building a digital presence. A lot of people think when they're starting a new business that, all right, it's just to set up the Instagram and the Facebook and, get to posting. And, there is a bit of groundwork that has to be done before you do that. Of course, we can get into the, building the brand and all of that. I like that it ended with regards to, touching on the website. The website is actually one of the first things that I advise people to do. And actually even 2 steps before that, registering your business, as in your business name. I've seen on countless times people, again, like they go ahead straight in with setting up the Instagram accounts with said business name, but the business isn't registered. So, as you build and expand and all of that, if let's say someone else has that business name or that registration name already, it kind of puts you into a bit of a pickle because, you're growing your presence online, but because your business isn't registered, it kind of hinders you from, doing all of the other necessary things when it comes to, let's say if you need to get a storefront, if let's say you need to get a business loan, your business needs to be officially registered. And beyond that, I always use this analogy when it comes to digital marketing. As much as, yes, we all know by now, social media has so much potential to, not just build your brand, but reach people in such a way that we probably never would have been able to before it. Social media is still what I call rented land. I always highly advise people when they're getting started with their business, registering their business name, as in their domain first. Your website is what I call your home, and your social media channels, whether it's social media, whether it's digital, Google Ads, whatever the case may be, they're all vehicles that you're trying to drive people to your home, which is your website. I said earlier that social media is sort of like rented land, and that's because it technically is. It's not yours. You have a free account and you can do so many different things, yes, but you're also still sort of at the whim of, whatever Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook wants to do, or what Adam Mosseri of Instagram says, or ByteDance, with whatever they want to do with their algorithms and it's their all of these different things. Whereas with your website, you have all the control You have all of the flexibility. If social media goes down, and we've all experienced social media being down at one point or the other, you still have your website. People can still shop from your website. They can still get information from your website or whatever the case may be. So I always say step one is setting up your website, as you know, they highlighted there, ensuring that it's SEO optimized, ensuring that all of the keywords are there. And when it comes to keywords, it's a few things that you can do. So most people, when they Google, that's how people search. So if, let's say, they're looking for makeup products in Trinidad, when you have your website now, you want to ensure that, let's say, in your About Us page or in your product descriptions, you know, you include those kind of keywords for what people are already naturally looking for. And, you know, say in the About Us, you know, we sell the most organic or the best makeup products in Trinidad and Tobago. And when people are searching for makeup products in Trinidad and Tobago, your website is going to be what people see on page 1 of Google. If, let's say, you want to expand into not just social media like Instagram and Facebook, if you're doing, let's say, YouTube videos as well, and people are searching for best makeup products in Trinidad, and you have a video on YouTube about it, your video will show up as well. So there's that side of things. And then when it comes to building your brand, it's very important to ensure you have the, you know, again, those foundations down. You want to sort of create a bit of a consistent look, feel, tone of voice. You want people to essentially have a good idea of the personality of the brand. So when you think about, you know, yes, really major brands, there's a particular look, feel, and association we get with them. I'm not sure if anyone here is familiar with, there's a local brand called Immortal Beauty. If you guys are not aware, it's essentially a local line of products. They offer scents, as in scented candles, body sprays, and a few other things. But the thing with them is that the tagline, okay, before you even get into anything, I just want to highlight something here. So this is a perfect example of a website and a business profile that has been perfectly optimized for Google. Yes, you would have searched for Immortal Beauty, but on your right-hand side there, you're seeing some information about where to find them, their operational hours, you get reviews and all of this. This card or this column you're seeing on your right hand side, what they did is they set up something called Google My Business. This is something that is offered for free via Google. Essentially, it's a space for you to sort of like add to sort of like a business registry, and people can get as much information as they can, like a digital business registry, or like, let's say, a digital yellow pages, if you will. It links out to the website. You can get directions there. You can directly call. You have all the information you need. I'm sure you guys would have as well, like if you're Googling certain products, if you're Googling certain things, you'll see Google reviews as well. All of that is via, you know, all of that gets housed here on this Google My Business page. So when people, again, if they're coming back to makeup products in Trinidad and Tobago, and let's say she offered makeup products, you'd be able to see all of the reviews. You'd be able to, if she had it, you could even display all of your product lineups, what your offerings are, and all of that. Additionally, you're seeing here that when in the walkthrough, they were talking about things like alt tags and meta descriptions and all of these different things. And including all of that, you're now able to see not just Immortal Beauty, but then you're able to see subsections like shop, gifts, home, essentials page, and all of that stuff. So sort of like subcategorizing what can be found on the website, and you can go directly to shop or whatever other action they would want you to do. So this is a perfect, great example of a local business and how they have essentially optimized their digital presence. Yes, they're great on social media. They have a very solid social media presence, which we're going to see in a sec. But when it comes to expanding beyond social media and ensuring that you have a strong presence on Google, which is something that the average person utilizes for search, this is essentially, you know, where you want to be and why you should have a website. Because the next thing too is that when people are searching, 9 times out of 10, it's a website that pulls up and not an Instagram page or a TikTok video. So you can actually get into the website there from now, Shem. Right. So the Immortal Beauty, their tagline or their slogan is, you know, shopping a little local luxury, explore a little local luxury. And it's really meant to be sort of luxury that is affordable. And it's a Caribbean brand, yes, but there you could tell based on not just the website, but if you were to go on the Instagram as well, there is a very consistent look and feel with the brand. It feels very distinctly Caribbean. It feels, as she says, you know, luxurious. It feels as if, you know, you're treating yourself. There's a particular cadence with the visuals as well, even though the visuals may change, you know, there's some earthy tones. It's very rich. It's, even though, you know, it's primarily, you can see primarily that it caters to women, but it doesn't mean that, you know, men can buy. But if, let's say, I'm not sure, of course, who her specific target audience is, but you can, if her target audience is, you know, young women, she's clearly, you can see that she's speaking to, you know, the average woman. Based on the visuals as well, I can tell that at a glance that the demographic may be not just women, but I can see millennial and Gen Z women. So there's a bit of a consistency throughout. You have a bit of, yes, curated professional shots like this pink one, the candle there. You know, when you take a look at that, like something about it, it's very minimal, it's very simple, but it also, you know, says, it also screams luxury, and you get the Caribbean vibe from it as well. So if you were to go into further detail, if you're looking at the captions as well, you can tell that there's a consistency throughout with the captions. You know, it tells it again. It speaks to sophistication. It speaks to luxury. It speaks to treating yourself. It speaks to, you know, wellness. It speaks to, you know, self-care, and self-care is all about treating yourself to a degree as well. So of course, we're not going to go into all of this right now. You guys can take a look at this brand, you know, on your own time. But again, you would notice that there's consistency throughout, and that is what you want to do. Something that is, it's a bit of a pet peeve of mine with some businesses is that they will have, let's say, their brand colors, and they're so all over the place when it comes to the colors that they use in their visuals. They're so all over the place in the messaging. They're so all over the place in, you know, down to even spelling and grammar. So one caption would have, you know, US spelling, let's say color with OR, and then in another caption, I would say color with OUR. So when it comes to branding, it's not just about yes, the brand colors are important, but it's more than the brand colors and a logo. It's again how, you know, that how that brand is supposed to, your business, how you want to show up, you know, what do you want people to feel and experience when they're interacting with your brand at various touch points. Is it something that when they see it, they resonate with it? This brand resonates with me because, you know, I feel as if I'm treating myself within a budget when I get the when I purchase her products. I get the candles, the scents are out of this world. You know, the scent, the body sprays, you know, they're very rich and they last very long as well. I feel a connection with the brand, and I feel as if I can see myself in the brand. So having an idea of like your target audience is very important as well, because if you don't know who you're talking to, and I would hope that you guys are not saying, well, everyone is my target audience. Once you have a very laser focused idea of who your target audience is, once it's a very specific subset on the front end, now when people are consuming your content, they feel as if, oh, you know, they're speaking to me. Oh, you know, they're going to fulfill a need or desire, or they're going to solve a problem for me, because the messaging, the visuals, everything is feeling as if it's speaking to them.
Good stuff, good stuff. Some questions for the entrepreneurs in the chat. Do you have a website?
If I have a website?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Asking the entrepreneurs.
Oh, you're asking that? Okay.
Yeah, the 65 of us. Yeah, some people saying yes, then no. Right? Not yet. Oh, good. No.
I like the not yet. I like that it's on the agenda. And you know what? Even if like, because I know I've spoken with some people and they say, it costs a lot to have a website and all of that. I always say it's great to start small and grow from there. A website can be something as simple as a landing page in the earlies, and then you can develop as you go along. It could be a 1 page, it could be 2 pages, and you grow from there. There, a lot of people think, you have to have like this fully, like, let's say something like on Apple's level and that sort of thing. And it doesn't have to be that way in the beginning. When it comes to free websites, that you can actually build your own website. So there's WordPress. There are simple ways like to build like very simple websites. And then of course, when you are in a position to, let's say, hire a web developer and all of that, and you can get a bit more sophisticated and all of that. And then there's of course Google sites where you can build very basic sites for the while. And I think it's a really great way because you're integrating into, the machine that is Google. And again, you can grow and build from there as the business grows, and of course, as revenue grows, and you can customize where need be. Especially if you have, if you're selling products, the next step would, of course, be having a website that is optimized for e-commerce. So essentially, it means that people can actually shop directly on the website. And again, this is another reason why it's so important to have a website, especially if you sell products, because think to your own shopping habits. I'm sure a lot of you guys shop on Amazon or shop on any other, online websites. And what you can do on Amazon versus not being able to, go to like a physical storefront, is shop at 10 o'clock at night, 2 in the morning on a holiday, without having like the need for a physical human to handle things. And it also means that you can essentially have your business be running in a little bit of autopilot as well. You're not having to rely solely on operations between 8 and 5. So if you are taking the long weekend to spend time with the family, or whatever you want to do, have your own personal downtime, you don't have to always be on. The website is running, people are taking their orders, and then you can, of course, deal with fulfillment at another point in time. You can't exactly do something like that in the same capacity as if you're doing it on Instagram, if you're on TikTok, or if you're on Facebook. So again, sorry, reasons why having a website is, and why I always tell people your website is your home, and your social and digital channels are the vehicles that drive people to your home.
All right, good stuff, good stuff. Let's take a look at the second session. I didn't get much questions from the group, but I think it was very comprehensively answered for us.
No problem. I'm just going to drop a quick note, if that's okay. In addition to Google's, a couple other sites that people can use to build their websites.
WordPress and Squarespace. Yes, I use Squarespace for my
Welcome back to Digital Marketing for Entrepreneurs. This course covers practical ways entrepreneurs can develop and maximize digital marketing for their online businesses. We look at personal branding, best practices for website design, keys to developing a digital marketing strategy, and how best to maximize your online marketing using available tools such as social media and search engines. This lesson is Developing a Digital Marketing Strategy. In this lesson, Christopher focuses on how you can not only find and target your ideal customers online, but also convert them into buyers using a variety of digital marketing strategies. He outlines the steps to take when creating a digital marketing strategy and what to do and not to do when building the right digital marketing strategy for your business. This course was written by Christopher Gray, co-founder of Scholly, a mobile app that helps students easily find scholarships for college. The app also helps graduates pay off their student debt at US-based institutions. As a quick reminder, digital marketing refers to the process of using digital channels like your website, search engines, email, and social media to market your business's product or services to consumers. Within digital marketing, you have a variety of tools and methods you can use to strategically target your ideal buyer. There is pay-per-click advertising, which involves paying a search engine like Google, Bing, Yahoo, or DuckDuckGo to display your advertisement whenever users search for specific keywords. Whenever someone clicks on your ad, you'll pay the search engine a set cost depending on how much competition there is for the keywords you choose. Social media marketing involves creating free content and paid ads to promote your business on social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Snapchat, and Twitter. Content marketing involves creating educational and entertaining content like blogs, videos, ebooks, photo galleries, and other online resources that help customers learn about topics related to your business and come to view your business as an authority within your niche. Email marketing involves sending information, content, and offers directly to subscribers of your business's email list. Influencer marketing involves hiring influencers, people or businesses that have a large online following, to promote your products or services to their followers. Mobile advertising involves creating ads that will show up on your target customers' mobile devices as SMS text messages, banners, social ads, and chatbot ads. Search engine optimization, which, as we discussed in Lesson 1, involves optimizing your website to appear on search engine results pages for keywords related to your business. Depending on your target consumer, you may find it more valuable to focus on one or more of these strategies than others. For example, at Scholly, one of the strategies they prioritize is social media marketing because, as Christopher notes, their target audience is young and tends to spend a lot of their time on platforms like Instagram and TikTok. So, how do you build the right digital marketing strategy for your business? Let's look at what Christopher says are some do's and don'ts. When creating a digital marketing strategy for your business, you want to do the following. Create buyer personas. Buyer personas are fictional representations of your ideal customers. You want to think about basic demographic information like their age, geographic location, and income level. You'll also want to consider some of the core questions this type of customer might have about the topics related to your business. Map out the customer journey. There are likely many steps a customer will need to take from their initial contact with your brand to making a purchase. And it's important to know what that journey looks like so that your marketing is relevant to customers at every unique stage. Develop SMART goals. SMART goals are goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. By creating marketing goals that include each of those characteristics, you make it easier to develop steps towards achieving the goals of your digital marketing strategy. Set a budget. You want to at least have an estimated budget of how much you can spend on digital marketing. Not only will this help you choose the appropriate digital channels, but it's also important to help you calculate the return on investment in the future. Choose your digital marketing strategies. After creating your buyer personas, customer journey, SMART goals, and budget, you'll have enough information to know which digital marketing strategies have the highest potential for success. If you're just starting out, choose a few strategies to master first, and then add in others as your company grows. Analyze results and make improvements. After a set time, it's important to step back and see what is and isn't working. Then you can make more informed decisions when setting new goals and developing future digital marketing campaigns. Now, let's look at what Christopher says to avoid. When creating your digital marketing strategy, you'll want to make sure you don't dismiss customer feedback. Customer feedback, good or bad, should be seen as an opportunity to improve the customer experience and all of your marketing efforts. Rely exclusively on paid advertising. The growth you get from paid ads is temporary and is not suitable for a long-term strategy. So you need to also invest in other forms of marketing, such as content marketing. Try to market to everyone. You can't sell to everyone, and if you don't target your marketing to fit your ideal buyer persona, you risk wasting money and effort on people who may never buy from your business. In the next lesson, we'll look at how, once you've created your digital marketing strategy, you can put it into action and maximize your efforts. For more on this course and to access related resources, visit our website.
All right, that was good. Ricqcolia, they talk sense or they're not talking sense?
Can you say that one more time? I didn't hear you clearly.
Did the guy talk sense? Or
Yeah, so
you
I
talk
was
sense?
nodding my head the entire time because he was just hitting, everything that I always talk to people about and teach as well. I was actually just making a few notes on some of the things to do a bit of a deeper dive on. So as I said previously, it's not advisable to just start your pages and then just hit go on posting and all of that. Something that I think what happens in the social media and the general digital space is that it can be very busy and it could seem very loud as well. I think it can sort of create a bit of a narrative that, I need to be everywhere all at once and that sort of thing. And it's really important, especially as, you're now starting out, and more than likely you're either a team of one or you have a very, very small team, and budget and resources are limited. So social media and the digital space, it can be a beast, and it's important to pace yourself because you can burn out very easily. And then, just generally when we're kind of like leaning into social media, keeping in mind that social media marketing and digital marketing on a whole is but one aspect. I'm saying one aspect of your business operations. You still have the day-to-day you have to take care of. You have accounting and finance. You have dealing with the actual product or the series, the actual, day-to-day of your business. So it's very important to be as strategic as possible when it comes to your digital and your social media marketing efforts to ensure that everything you're putting out, it has a purpose, it's intentional, and you're not throwing content into the wind. So step one, of course, is building a strategy. There are a few elements that goes into building a digital or social media marketing strategy. One of the main things is, yes, defining your objectives. And when you think objectives, it's more than just the social media or the digital objectives, but think about as well between now, because let's say we're heading into May. Between now and the end of the year, what are some of your business objectives? Not just your social media objectives, but what are some of your actual business objectives? So if, let's say, one of your goals for the year is to increase market share or to increase awareness around your business. If, let's say, this is like the second year of your business and you want to increase brand awareness, by 10%, or let's say you want to move product by increase sales by 15%, or whatever those very specific goals are. They mention having SMART goals. Let your overarching business goals feed into your digital strategy. So then later down, when it comes down to the final stage of things, which is creating the content, every piece of content in one way or the other are speaking to those overarching business goals. And then at the end of whatever that reporting period is, you can say, okay, well, based on whatever we set out for this digital strategy, the social media strategy, whatever the case may be, digital helped us accomplish these particular goals or objectives by 5%, by 10%. We exceeded our goals, we underperformed, and then taking a look as to why that is and how you can tweak accordingly. Something I always say as well is that when it comes to social media and a digital, and I realize I'm saying things, I'm separating it, because you can have your social media marketing strategy, but if you want to go expand a bit on your overarching digital strategy, which can encompass advertising, let's say on Google or whatever other platforms. It can also include content on your website. It could also include essentially, it can include, as they mentioned, email marketing. All those things are items under the umbrella of digital marketing. But either way, what I was trying to say is that I always consider these things to be a bit of a living document or a living strategy. And that's because at the end of the day, you have to liken a strategy to a theory. Let's say in the science world, a scientist would put out a theory. They'll say, based on this, we believe that X, Y, and Z will happen and we'll get these results. It's very similar as well to social and digital. We're going based on, or the results that we're going to get is going to be based on human behavior and how they interact and react and the actions that they take. So based on how they react and how they consume the content, how they resonate with the content or not, that would then inform how you adjust your strategy to suit. So keep in mind that, whatever your strategy is going to be, it's not always going to be set in stone. You have to also keep in mind that you may have to adjust efforts to suit based on what the data is telling you. So there's that. We mentioned doing your research. That also includes, again, being laser focused on who your target audience is. It's more than just saying, well, I want to just target women. We all know that everyone who's on this meet right now, everyone here is different and unique in their own way. Everyone has their own different interests, different desires, different goals out of life, and all of these and that kind of thing. So when it comes to defining your target audience and crafting your buyer persona as well, you want to get as specific as possible, because as I said earlier, you want to ensure that your efforts are resonating with your ideal person. So this could be specific, and it doesn't have to be one particular group. It could be multiple subgroups. So for example, if we're talking about you have a product or a service for women, is it that you're targeting mothers? Is it that you're targeting widows? That was just random off the top of my head. Is that you're targeting young millennials? Is it that you're targeting university students, new professionals, a senior population? Those are all subsects of groups of women. And again, those groups of women will have different needs and desires. So things to take into consideration are their age, their gender, the location, their behaviors, what they value out of life. So using, let's say you have a makeup line, right? If you are selling makeup products, yes, you're going to be targeting women, you know, maybe some men as well, you never know. But another area that you want to take into consideration in terms of behaviors is people who are very interested in makeup. They're also very big on skincare as well. So what are some of the behaviors of people who are also involved in skincare? Are you targeting people who are on the go? So maybe you may have travel sizes of your products, and you can, you know, speak to, you know, those women who are always on the go. They're always traveling, you know, or, you know, they may not always have like their full makeup kit. So you can target, you know, the busy businesswoman, or the busy or the on the go traveler who, you know, would benefit from this particular product. This information, as I said, will help you create content instead of you wondering, well, what am I going to put out today? Everything you're putting out is going to be very specific and is going to be targeting a very specific demographic. They mentioned as well, you know, when it comes to some of the do's and don'ts, ignoring customer complaints. This is a realm that we call community management. I know that no one likes to see anything negative being said about them, or anything negative being said about their product, but I always say that those negative opportunities for you to do better. I don't mean every single thing. Of course, we know that there are people out there, including bots, there are people out there who are just hateful for hateful sake. And then you have people who are saying, hey, I've had a particular experience with your product or your service or your staff. I did not like it. This is what happened. That is not the time or the opportunity to hide their comments or delete it. That's not the time to go into the comments and then go back and forth and, you know, argue with them. Use that as an opportunity to really do a bit of self-reflection with whether it's yourself or yourself and the team. Take that as constructive criticism, because they're providing you with an opportunity. Again, it may not look good publicly, but it's also how you handle it. They're providing you with an opportunity to sort of say, all right, well, we may have a particular situation, or we may have a particular process or workflow or something within what we're offering that is not working well. What can we do to improve it? When it comes to addressing it, of course, you know, take that conversation offline. If there is a negative comment that you see on your page, take that conversation offline. Like, leave a message on the public post, say, hey, Shem, we saw your comments. We sent you a private message in DMs, and offline you can take it further and say, you know, we saw what you said. Can you, you know, we're so sorry. Of course, you're taking accountability, apologize for what happened, get more information, and, you know, use that again as a learning experience. And something that stood out as well is when it came to paid ads, don't rely on paid ads. This is a bit two-tiered. One, again, coming back to knowing your audience very well. When it comes to paid advertising, again, as a small business with limited resources, paid advertising can be expensive. And beyond that, it is still an investment into your marketing efforts. You want to ensure that you are spending your money wisely, especially because it's US that you're spending, right? So instead of saying, let's say when you're advertising, you're saying, all right, well, I just want to target everyone in Trinidad and Tobago between the ages of 18 to 65. Again, everyone is different. They have different needs. So utilizing the data you would have gathered in your market research into who your target audience is, who your buyer personas are, use that to be as specific on the back end of, you know, building your ads and all of that. You will get a lot of prompts asking you about age demographics, locations, and, you know, various things, so you can get as laser focused. So when your ads are showing up now and they're showing up in the right place, they're also showing up for the right people. I'm sure you guys have seen ads on social media that are very irrelevant to you, you know, and you now have the ability to turn off ads or hide ads, which is great because it sort of empowers you now to sort of control what you see. That is great as a customer, but as a business, if you are advertising willy-nilly to any and everyone and you're not specific as to who you're targeting, they will turn off your ads. And if enough people turn off your ads, and if enough people are saying, well, the ads are irrelevant, I'm seeing it too much, it comes across as spam, you will actually be penalized on your ad accounts. You actually, like that, those are signals to whether it's Meta advertising or Google or whatever, that you are not putting out the right ads, and you can be penalized as a result of that. So definitely keep that in mind. And also when it comes to your paid ads as well, don't just boost any and everything. Don't just create an ad over any and everything. Think again as to who you're trying to talk to. So ensure that the ad itself is something that is valuable. Yes, sales are great and all of that, but this could be a brand awareness ad that you're putting out as well. And in that brand awareness ad, you can specifically speak to that need, that solution you're providing to whoever your target audience is. So be very mindful of your ad, how you're building your ads. Ensure that it is as laser targeted as possible, and ensure that, again, keeping the end user in mind, ensure that it's showing up at the right place at the right time.
Great. I have a question here. What marketing strategies or activities would you advise for micro, a small, medium enterprise just starting out?
Well, what industry are you in? What are you offering?
Let's say we are Immortal Beauty, the example we use.
Just starting out. Okay. So something to keep in mind as well, I'm not sure if this will be touched on in any of the future walkthroughs, is it's more than just having a product or a service. And yes, you're going to solve a solution, you're going to fill a need and all of that, or a desire, because not everything is solutions based. Sometimes it's just, there's a need that you just have for something, right? So using Immortal Beauty as the example, it's not necessarily a need, like let's say, food and drinks, but it's more of a desire, really. So people have different needs, and then they have different desires. So beyond that, how are you showing up for your audience? And being very clear on how you're showing up in that way goes a very long way in building a strategy, because then you can lean into that in your content. So if you're actually solving a problem, if you are fulfilling a need, your messaging has to speak to that. And then by extension, people are going to be like, oh, okay, well, based on what they're saying, this actually can solve this particular problem, or whatever the case may be. As well as, how do you stand out from your competitors? Now, I know a lot of people say at our competitors, I'm the best in what I offer. No one can top me and all of that. But the reality is, everyone has competitors, including myself, right? I've been doing this for about close to 5 years now. But in terms of what I do, I offer content marketing services. And within that, of course, there falls social media and, photography and all these different things. But I serve a very specific need, and I know how I want to show up. My focus, how I solve a problem, is I focus on strategy, and not just social media, but overarching content marketing, which can include, again, social media, email, blog, copywriting, strategy. It fills a lot of different needs beyond social media. How do you stand out from your competitors? Is it that, let's say, if they're offering 5 specific products, you have a 6th one that they don't have? Is it that maybe they don't offer delivery, but you offer delivery? Maybe there is a gap in a particular, you may have the same or similar products, but maybe the features of that particular product is a bit more, offers a bit more than what your competitors are offering. So leaning into those different things, and being, again, clear on how you can solve a problem or provide a solution, is what should be sort of frame the strategy. And I mean, this comes down a little bit more to like the actual content side of things, but ensuring that, you grab people's attention, because people are in a bit of like a doom scroll kind of space right now, because we're just inundated with a set of content. But you want to ensure that you stand out, not just simply based on a visual, but the key elements to how your product or service can solve a problem or fulfill a need.
Okay. So
And
another
then,
question. No, if there's another question, if you have more to add to that same thing, please go ahead.
I just took a glance into the comments, and I did see something about storytelling, and storytelling can actually, it varies. So storytelling can be something as simple as your origin story. If let's say you started a particular product, created a particular product, or started a particular service because you realized there was a gap in the market, or you realized that, there are a lot of people you realize who have this particular issue, and you realize no one was offering that particular solution. So you decided to start that, having that level of connectivity and relatability can go a long way. So your origin story, let's say, yes, it might sound simple or basic in terms of like, what people see on TikTok, like story times and all of that. I've seen people in my industry, like they actually use real life situations and things that they've experienced in like let's say they've gone out to dinner or they've seen something, and, it's somehow what that experience was, it tied back to, let's say, something they've noticed in the social media realm or whatever the case may be. I can highlight something in terms of an immediate example that comes to mind all the time when it comes to storytelling. I think that is done really well. I'm sure, well, I don't want to assume, but are you guys familiar with crew cuts? So you could actually look for him, Sham. He's on Instagram, and it's crew cuts with a K, both KREW, KU, and with a Z, not a, there, yeah, there he is. Right. So I think this is not just only great storytelling, but it's a great way of taking people along for the journey in every single video. So when you think about the average person, when they think about barbershops, at least for me, the first thing that comes to mind is the fellas at the barbershop, talking about life, relationships, jobs, they're watching the game, they're all talking, that kind of thing. You don't immediately think about women in that space, or you rarely think about women in that space. And something that has always struck me with Anthony is that guy right there. He is the owner, founder, I don't know his exact title, but he is the man behind Crew Cuts, is he's found a really great way to not only bring us along for the ride, but he's also highlighting something that showcases how he stands out from the crowd. Because at the end of the day, barbershops are, this is no offense to anyone, but barbershops are a bit of a dime a dozen. You can find a barbershop anywhere, right? So how do you stand out from the crowd? He not only just has a lot of like female women in terms of his clientele, but he takes you along for the journey in terms of their transformations. And that is something that stands out. Most videos actually showcase like sort of like a before and after, and you can see essentially how those video, like as like on the other end of it, how these women are like, you can see that their lives are transformed, like they're completely in love with their look. He essentially has sort of like breaking a bit of like the gender norm in featuring a female clientele, which is something you don't typically associate with barbershops. So he sets himself apart, and he's showcasing that his barbershop is a welcoming and all-inclusive space. If let's say that me or any woman here wants to cut their hair, like, do the big chop or whatever, more likely than not, you're not going to think to go to a barbershop. You may cut it all off yourself. You may, ask a friend of yours to cut it for you, but you may not necessarily think to go to a barbershop. And he sort of like broken down that barrier and showcased that his spot is a welcoming, all-inclusive place. You've seen some women here who have some like really serious hair and scalp issues, and then look at the results at the end, and I don't know if it's complimentary or not, but you can see he also does makeup, well, not him, but someone on his team also does makeup as well. So it's also creating like not just an all-inclusive space, but an elevated experience that you may not typically associate with a barbershop. So again, identifying your business's unique selling point or USP in the marketing world, you're demonstrating to your audience, look at the emotion that you're getting from this. This is not a need, it's a desire, but he has transformed her life based on, how she looks and that sort of thing. A lot of us take how we look very seriously. And you can see now that she's going to be a lot more confident in how she looks and feels. So showcasing your unique selling points and demonstrating that in different ways. And this is where storytelling can come in. This can also showcase to prospective clients what sets you apart from your competitors. So you will be the go-to for them. Even if they're not in a position or they're not ready to buy, you will be top of mind. So if I decide that I want to cut off all my hair, it's Crew Cuts I'm going to.
Well said. Make sure. Any question? Are we answering all the questions, guys? see
No,
Liana.
we have 2 questions. I have posted one.
Liana, what are some other ways marketing strategies to get? So what are some other ways as in marketing strategies to get leads to sales other than utilizing social media marketing, especially if your business is online based?
Right. So there are actually 2 ways you can do that. Technically, it is social media, but it's just something to consider. And that's via Meta Business Suites. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Meta Business Suite. So just quick heads up for those who don't know, there's Facebook. So there's like my personal Facebook, where I go to, share photos, catch up with friends, share memes, whatever the case may be. That's a personal side of things. And then there's Facebook for business. That's where you see all those business pages showcasing like content, what they're offering and this and the other. So Facebook for business operates very differently than what you would encounter on your personal Facebook account. So keep that in mind. And all of that in terms of Facebook for business is housed under Meta Business Suite. And Meta Business Suite is a very powerful and impactful essentially like it's a dashboard that allows you to administrate all of your everything on your Facebook page as well as your Instagram, because Instagram is under Meta. So you can actually handle both under Meta Business Suite. The reason why I'm mentioning Meta Business Suite is you can actually do lead generation, which means that you can create forms, and that could include like, surveys and all of that, and redirect people and essentially generate, let's say, emails from people, and you can build your email list and you can communicate to people directly via email. Email marketing is one of the most underrated marketing strategies when it comes to digital on a whole. A lot of people tend to focus on social, but again, thinking about how we all consume. Yes, we may check Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all of that, but the reality is once you post something, not everyone is seeing that all at once. If you have 5,000 followers on social media, not all 5,000 are going to see that particular post. But what's something that people check every single day and they see directly every single day? Their email. So utilizing email marketing that's actually the second way you can you can diversify your marketing strategies. Leveraging email marketing is a powerful way to have that direct communication with your potential audience. It's a great way to do soft selling and educates your audience on not just what you have to offer, but this is where content marketing comes into play. And I'm going to utilize my beauty example again. If you have a makeup line, you're not just going to utilize, you could not only utilize email marketing just to say, hey, I'm selling this, but you can let's say if you have like a weekly newsletter or a monthly newsletter, and every week or every month you're sending out tips on makeup makeup tips or skincare tips, or products to use if you have oily skin versus dry skin, the importance of having a nighttime routine versus a daytime routine, or the products that you use, for all of these different things. You're essentially this is exactly what content marketing is. You're providing valuable, relevant information, which is also a soft sell. You're not necessarily saying buy this, buy that every single week, but you're also showcasing to people that you are a thought leader and an expert in this space. And then when you're ready to actually start selling and saying, hey, we have a sale, or hey, we just launched this new collection or this new line or whatever, people are going to be more inclined to buy because you provided them with so much free, valuable, relevant information and all this time that by the time they see the product, they're like, oh, you know what? She mentioned that thing about, nighttime and skin time routine. Let me take up on this particular product and see how it works for me and my oily skin, right? So leveraging email marketing. And again, you can actually do that via Meta Business Suite. And I highly recommend for anyone that has a business and it wants to dive into social media marketing, before you jump into TikTok and all of that, definitely have a Facebook page, because having a Facebook page and by extension, access to Meta is how you can leverage the lead generation side of things, and collecting email addresses for your audience. And it also means that, again, if when Instagram is down, Facebook is down, whoever is down, you still have that direct communication with your audience. So if let's say Instagram, Facebook and TikTok is down and that means of course you can't push anything. You can still communicate with your audience via email and they're directly getting that kind of content and info.
Good stuff, good stuff.
There are a few tools, there are a few email marketing tools that you can use for email marketing. So you have MailChimp, Constant Contact. There are a few of them. I can just pull them up and drop them here.
Yeah, sure.
Some of them, of course, vary in terms of price points. Some of them are free, but like free with some limitations. Some of them are freemium, and some of them, of course, are paid. But it is a worthy investment.
Which, if you had to pick one for a micro entrepreneur, which one you'd advise?
I would say, well, I'm going based on personal experience. I would say MailChimp. Even though I think they have a free version, but it also is limited. So I think how they work is things are free up until a particular point, but the larger your subscriber list expands, that is when things start to go into like the paid side of things. So, and then the next thing too is that various email marketing platforms offer different things. So MailChimp works for me and my needs, but it may not necessarily work for someone else based on their needs. So it's very important to sort of like Google and research and have an idea of the different offerings, and of course, by extension, the price point, and make a decision based on the features and again, your needs as to which is the best for you. I've worked with Constant Contact for clients, and even though it's pretty good, it's also very expensive as well. And it's not necessarily something that works for, not saying it doesn't work, but it doesn't necessarily match my needs. So it wouldn't be a worthy investment for me. I'm just dropping a quick list here. If you guys have any other questions as well, feel free to drop them.
Sure. So one more video, and then we can still go back to questions.
Welcome to Digital Marketing for Entrepreneurs. This course covers practical ways entrepreneurs can develop and maximize digital marketing for their online businesses. We look at personal branding, best practices for website design, keys to developing a digital marketing strategy, and the best ways to maximize your online marketing using available tools such as social media and search engines. This lesson is maximizing your digital marketing. In this lesson, we'll be looking at how you can maximize your digital marketing strategy using popular tools and tactics, review available digital marketing tools, and how to use them to increase sales. Review best practices for each digital marketing strategy. This course was written by Christopher Gray, co-founder of Scholy, a mobile app that helps students easily find scholarships for college. The app also helps graduates pay off their student debt at US-based institutions. To begin, let's talk about what digital marketing tools are and how you can use them to increase sales. Christopher writes that digital marketing tools are the software marketers use to track, analyze, and automate digital marketing campaigns. When used correctly, they can help you execute your digital marketing strategy so well that you surpass your competitors in sales and customer engagement. Some examples of digital marketing tools that Christopher says you might consider using in your business are content management systems to create, edit, publish, and organize all of your website's content. Customer Relationship Management, CRM, software to manage your business's relationship with customers and clients and ensure they're moving through every stage of your customer journey. Search engine optimization tools to analyze your competitors' website performance, conduct keyword research, monitor and improve your website's performance on search engines, and more. Email marketing tools to plan, analyze, and automate email marketing campaigns. Social media management tools to help you plan, create, publish, analyze, and engage with responses to your business's social media content. Website analytics tools allow you to gain insights on your website's incoming traffic, which pages are receiving the most attention from visitors, and track conversions. Search the internet for the best web analytics tools for options. Christopher notes that you can use any or all of those tools to support your digital marketing strategy, but they don't guarantee automatic success. You'll still need to make sure you're following best practices for each digital strategy. For example, when using social media to promote your business, you'll want to make sure to do things like post on the platforms where your target audience spends the most time. Develop a social media content calendar to ensure you're posting consistently and at times when your audience is online. Focus on creating content that is educational, original, and shareable. Tailor and repurpose your content to fit what your followers expect and enjoy on each social media platform. On the other hand, when using search engines, your approach will differ slightly because you'll also need to conduct keyword research to find the most popular search terms related to your business. Decide which keywords are better targeted with paid ads or organic content. Ensure that you're not only using those keywords in your organic content, but also creating content that matches the keyword search intent. Create relevant and persuasive landing pages for users to go after clicking your paid ads. To maximize your digital marketing strategy, says Christopher, you may also want to experiment with product placement. For example, you may partner with social media influencers who are popular among consumers in your target audience and pay them to feature your products in a series of posts. No matter which of these digital marketing strategies you use, it's important that you're always collecting, tracking, and analyzing data related to customer sales. This is where using a customer relationship management, or CRM, system becomes important. Generally, when choosing a CRM, you'll want to make sure it helps you to easily do things like store, retrieve, and analyze data with custom reports to improve your sales and marketing strategies. Secure and protect your customers' data so that there are no data breaches that could damage trust. Track and target potential customers throughout the customer journey to increase conversions. Automate repetitive parts of your customer relationship management strategy. Christopher advises that there is no single strategy to ensure success with digital marketing. Just like traditional marketing, digital marketing is not a one-time effort. It is a continuous process that you will refine over time. But to begin, you should focus on developing an understanding of your personal brand and target consumers. Be willing to experiment with different digital channels to find the ones best suited for your business, and invest in the right digital tools and tactics to maximize your efforts. For more on this course and to access related resources, visit our website.
All right, Ricqcolia, the top sense is relevant for Trinidad.
Yes, most definitely. As I said at the start of this, you guys are, especially as new businesses, relatively new, you have so many other things to oversee in your business. So marketing, whether it's digital, traditional, social, whatever, is one part of your operation. So having the right tools, especially tools that can help you automate, is your best friend. So one thing that they mentioned in terms of CRM or customer relationship management tool, the most, I think, widely used and highly rated CRM, and it's also sort of like an all-in-one and allows you to do so many different things, is HubSpot. I'm actually going to pull up that link and share that with you right now. And there is, let me just see here. There is a way. Oh, there it is. Thank you. HubSpot allows you to do so many different things. You can do actually email marketing in that you can automate your operations. You can include, chatbots in terms of like the customer service side of things. Hold on, they actually have a list of the various things that you can do that. But it's more than just like the products, but also they have a lot of integrations as well, and a lot of free resources for businesses, especially new businesses at various levels of development, to know how to better grow, expand, and maximize on their presence. So I would highly recommend utilizing HubSpot. Even you don't have to use all features and all tools, but I'm very sure that there are various things that you can utilize within it to enhance your business. As I said, they're free and they're premium features. So one, it really depends on what you want to do. So let me see. If you go on under software, I think you're already there. So you can see marketing, sales, actual service in terms of customer support and retention and all of that. If you have, when it comes to like your actual sales automation, and again, this is where having a website comes into play, because you have so many more capabilities and you can go so much further than you can with just social media. You can't access and leverage these things with social media exclusively. So this is definitely a worthy platform to look into in terms of what areas you want to optimize and automate. They mentioned a couple other things as well in terms of tools. So social media marketing tools. As much as the individual social media platforms have a section where you can look at analytics and you can see, all right, well, this is how much my reach is, this is how much my engagements is looking like, and all of that. I would recommend investing as well in social media marketing tools. And those tools, yes, it allows you to schedule your content, but it also allows you to do a lot of other things. You can access way more robust analytics at the end of the month, at the end of the quarter, to see how your content is performing. There are a few of them that I can probably share here, but one of my favorites, excuse me, is Sprout Social. And that's mainly because their analytics and their data is it's very impactful, it's very intuitive. It admittedly may be a bit on the pricier side. If budget is a problem, I would recommend Hootsuite. Hootsuite is also a very popular social media management tool. So it's HOOT. There it is. Yeah, that one. If you look under features at the top, you can look at features and integrations and all of that. And you can see that they're utilized by a lot of major businesses. So you can publish, you can access analytics. You can actually get help with creating captions using this AI content creation. You get insight as to the best times or recommendations for the best times to post based on what they essentially do is like they'll take a look at your audiences or your followers, their usual active times, and they'll recommend, hey, your audience tends to be more active around 10 a.m. on Tuesdays. This is the best time to post. There are tons of engagement tools. You can do direct messaging and inboxing. Of course, you can run your paid advertising for social media via there. And they have an employee advocacy feature as well. If you take a look at integrations, Shem, you can also see a breakdown as to all of the integrations. And again, we're in one of the best times when it comes to digital marketing, because these type of tools, they not only offer such a robust way for you to market your business, but market it strategically. If you were to scroll down, you can see essentially how you can manage multiple channels in one space. And this is how it typically works for most social media scheduling tools. You could include your Google My Business, which I mentioned earlier. You can manage that as well. You can connect your Google Drive to Hootsuite. So if you have all of your photos, your videos, your content, whatever, you can connect it through there. Vidyard is a very popular and a very strong, I think, video streaming tool where you can house your video. You can do all of that there. And you could take, if you look at the industries, or if you were to go to the top, if you look at the industries subsection, you have an idea of how they're served. So it can literally serve any industry. And if you were to go on resources, in addition to the tool itself, you have a lot of different like small free tools. But if you were to go on the blog, if you have no idea as to how to navigate, platforms, and most of these social media management tools, they have similar blogs where they allow you to learn more about trends and insights and, get to understand the various platforms in different ways. They could break it down by strategy. They have content on the individual platforms. They have content on, how to, leverage video, like all these different things. So essentially you can become a better marketer. I'll admit that this side of things, this is something, I think someone like me, who I work in content, I work in social, and I do this for clients. So I personally tend to geek out on these kind of things. You as a business owner, you may take a look here and there at, some blog content if it's relevant to you. Not saying you have to, follow this directly, but it's still good to have like a bit of insight into what's going on. They also drop trends and like new updates on what's happening with the individual platforms and that sort of thing. So even if, let's say, you don't take up on this particular social media scheduling tool, it's still in your best interest if you have time to take a look at their blogs and have an idea of what's the latest in the social media marketing world, and be a lot more informed as well as to how you can apply whatever that is to your business.
Wow, a lot of knowledge.
I'm just dropping this here. There are a ton of, this is a list. So I have a list of tools that I would have done in a previous workshop, and I just shared a list of third-party social media scheduling tools that you guys can check out. You'd see there, you also have like something called Laser and Planoly. Those are actually more so optimized for Instagram specifically. So if, let's say, you have a brand that's very big on visuals, and you want to have a very particular look and feel on your Instagram grid. I'm sure you guys have seen that with some brands have a very special way in how like they lay out their Instagram content. Laser and Planoly is how they do it essentially. So you can actually drop and drag. So if you schedule your content ahead of time, you can drop and drag your posts within Laser or Planoly. So you can essentially curate how your Instagram feed looks. So it works well. Let's say someone like Shem, who's a photographer slash videographer. If, let's say, you have a brand that is very big on color, you can then schedule, drop and drag, and adjust your Instagram feed so it looks, very, color cohesive, so you have like grids of blues and then greens and pinks or whatever the case is. That is essentially how you've seen some brands do something like that.
Understood. Any questions on these things, guys? Oh, do these email marketing products cater to the Trinidadian audience?
Yes. So actually with MailChimp on the back end, you can see once you're sending out the content as well, it actually starts to learn who is not just opening, but based on like things like IP addresses and all of that, they can actually start to learn where within Trinidad and Tobago people are opening. And guys, I also want you guys to think as well, you may be a small local business, but don't think small. So if let's say you have what I'm thinking, think regional and then global and all of that. That is the power of what we have when it comes to social media. So when it comes to building your email list, you can have, again, like a landing page. I don't think I have it currently. Actually, Shem, if you were to go on Sister Isle Digital, I think I should have a pop-up on my website. That's it there. So that is an example of my Google My Business, but right, that, perfect.
Oh, sorry, I see it.
That, so you see that, and I'm sure you guys have seen this on whatever websites you've gone on. Every so often you see a pop-up window on your website. This is an example. This is MailChimp in action. I built the pop-up window on MailChimp. When I say build, it's not something that's like super, technical to do. MailChimp as well has a lot of resources, and they have a YouTube channel that walks you through how to do access and utilize their features. So when it comes to email marketing, you want to collect people's emails, right? And I want to collect emails for people who may be interested in tips, tricks. They want to learn more about content. They want to learn more about social media. They want to learn more about copywriting. So for those who want to learn more, they will share their email address with me, and then they get added to my email marketing funnel. So then I will have that direct conversation with them going forward. And essentially I can share, let's say, the tip of the week, or let's say I can share a blog post from my website, or if let's say I have a webinar coming up, I'll be like, hey guys, webinar is coming up on X, Y, and Z dates. So the thing with this, I've noticed, is even though my business is based in Trinidad and Tobago, and even though, of course, my clientele is mainly local, when I take a look at the analytics as to who's opening, I've seen people opening my emails from the US, from a large amount of people are viewing my content from the US. I've seen people from Australia. I've seen someone from South Africa opening my email addresses as well. So what I'm trying to get at is, yes, you can cater for a Trinidad audience, because primarily, more than likely, is going to be pushed out to a Trini audience first. But when you have a strong strategy and you start to target things in a particular way, you will start to also reach people beyond Trinidad and Tobago and that sort of thing. And in terms of building an email base, like I said, it's really a matter of what I do is, like, I would offer like a freebie. So I think before you clicked out, there was another pop-up that came in, and that was for I had a freebie offering people a commemorative day calendar. So essentially it meant that you could access a document that showcases all of the commemorative days and all of the holidays. So as a business now, you can know what days to start plugging in your not just the commemorative days and greetings, but sales that you may want to run around that time. And in exchange for me giving that freebie, I now have built my email list for people who are interested. And they're not, because they're now my funnel, I can now, communicate with them directly. When it comes to email marketing, though, I want you guys to be very, very, very careful in terms of strategically communicating. So don't bombard people's inbox. I'm sure everyone's inbox, including my own, is probably full of emails. I'm sure you guys see a ton of updates. Your updates folder is probably really full. Your junk folder is really full, and all of that. And it's very easy for people to start, one, deleting, and two, unsubscribing. It's a bit of a difference between email and social media. Because people are getting that content directly in their inbox every day. If your content is not relevant, if it's coming across too spammy, if it's not resonating with them, they will unsubscribe. So I've experienced unsubscribers as well. It's not a bad thing. It just probably means that my content wasn't serving them anymore, or they got what they needed out of me. But you want to ensure that you maximize on the real estate that you have. The email space is very precious compared to social media. If someone unsubscribes, they're likely not to resubscribe. So when you're building your email marketing strategy, even, and how you're communicating, you want to ensure that you are providing value 9 times out of 10. So 9 times could be education, it could be industry tips, it could be providing whatever valuable content, even if it's edutainment. And then the 1 time is when you're ready to go. That's when it could be the sale, right? If every single thing is sale, people will be like, you know what? No, and unsubscribe.
Very valuable insights. I have a question. It seems like a
Sure.
lot because I'm
I know
speaking
it can be a lot. Yeah, yeah.
speaking for the micro entrepreneurs, they're already busy doing the running the business. They have the accounting and finances put in order. And let's say they needed help. What does getting help look like in Trinidad? Is it that you have to hire someone outright to do marketing? What and also in this, what have you seen that works? Is it that so I'm guessing you'll have people get free help. Is that effective? People do themselves. Is that effective? People hire out like somebody like yourself. Is that part-time or do you have to hire full-time to really get an effective service?
I would say it really depends on you, as in the business owner, and where they're at with their business. So on the surface, I can say, yeah, well, I'm a content marketer, everybody should hire me. But the reality is that's not the case. And it's more than just budget, but it's also needs as well, and again, where you are in your business. I've interacted with some people who, when they've hired, they know what they want. They just want someone to handle the day-to-day. They have their strategy in play. They have their visuals. They know what their goals are, what they're trying to accomplish in the next 3 months, 6 months, whatever. They literally just don't have the time for the day-to-day, and they want someone to be responsible for, like, posting and scheduling, probably responding to comments and DMs and that sort of thing. Then you have those who don't know where to even begin. They don't know their head from the tail, from strategy to difference between Facebook and Instagram and all of that. And they want full service. They have no visuals. They have nothing. So it really depends on you and where you're at. If budget is an immediate concern and you're not in an immediate position to hire, this is where, of course, learning and understanding the space that you're playing in comes into play. And I think I said this at the start of this. Social media and digital on a whole, it kind of creates this narrative that you have to be everywhere all at once. You have to be on Instagram posting reels every day. You need to be doing TikToks. You have to jump on this challenge. You have to do ads, website, all of this different thing. And because we're starting off small, you want to take a pause and say, okay, what can I realistically do right now? What do I need to learn right now? And ensure that this is still within my realm of capacity, in addition to everything else I have to do, that I can realistically put some time aside for. And this, again, is where leaning into a lot of tools that allow you to automate comes into play. But you have to understand, again, the space that you're playing in. Even me, as a small business owner, when I first started, I went from having to work for a company, and not just a specific company, but generally a company where there's HR, there's an HR department, there's an accounts department. There are all these different departments who handle all these different things. And all I do is I show up, I do my very specific job. I start at 8 and I end at 5. As a business owner now in the earlies, the reality is you sort of have to take on the role of accounts and operations and finance and marketing and all these different things. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it and make it seem as if like it's just to hand off. You can hand off, but you have to know at what point you're ready to do that. I do highly advise for those who are listening who are like, right now, what I have in the bank account is just to keep operations going. This is where, looking at the same tools that I showcase, the Sprout socials. When you're thinking about, all right, for social media management, what do I need to learn? Start following YouTube channels and start looking at videos on how to build a strategy. What are some of the understanding the nuances between the different social media platforms, and coming to that as well. You don't have to be everywhere all at once. I highly advise starting off like with max 2 channels, master that, grow there very well, see how things are going there, see how you're able to drive sales via social media, how you're doing your brand awareness via those 2 channels. And only then, when you get to a place where you're like, what, I think we're good, then you can start saying, all right, let's bring on this 3rd platform and this 4th channel to expand our reach and our awareness and that sort of thing. Thinking about as well, coming back to the beginning, back to basics in terms of objectives. What are we realistically trying to accomplish and achieve between now and X amount of time? I always say, when I work with clients, I always say, working business courses, right? We are currently in what, Q2? Are we in Q2? We're in quarter 2 of the year, let's say. So, each course is 3 months. So that is a good way to kind of like take things piece by piece and say, all right, if these are these 2 things we're trying to accomplish within quarter 2, how is social media, how is digital going to help us do that? What does that strategy look like? Coming back to realistically, can these platforms help us accomplish that? So it's more than just saying we're going to be on Instagram. Is Instagram the platform for you to help you get the reach you want? So if let's say you're in a service-based business, yes, maybe Instagram can be it, but maybe LinkedIn could be the platform for you. Maybe you can get a specific clientele and a stronger clientele via LinkedIn versus Instagram or TikTok. So thinking about where, not just the channels, but can they help you accomplish what you're trying to accomplish? I'm currently on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm on TikTok mainly for research purposes. It's for me to really understand the platform as much as I can so I can, better help clients strategize TikTok. But LinkedIn is a great platform for me, given what I do, because I can really showcase my thought leadership. I can really showcase and talk about content and show why I am that person, why I can be the go-to when it comes to strategy and that kind of thing. I may not necessarily get that kind of impact or the kind of clientele on TikTok. If I'm trying to like attract, business, like let's say like the CEOs of a particular business, they would spend more of their time on LinkedIn. They may not spend all their time on TikTok. So thinking about what channels are going to help you achieve what you're trying to do goes a lot into that. And just as I said, research, spend time in the space, and it's okay to experiment. You don't have to be perfect out the gate. Even the same Immortal Beauty, even the same Anthony from Crew Cuts, even myself, we don't start out like out the gate, knowing everything and, this is the best way to accomplish everything. It's all about testing to see what works, being okay with testing to see what works, learning from that and growing from there. And recognizing as well that if you're serious about your business, that this is something that is going to really make change. This is something that can change lives. This can really solve a solution. This is not just a quick cash grab. Knowing as well that you're going to be in this for the long haul. If you're really in this to make a quick buck, this is a quick side hustle for you, you'll burn out a lot faster versus if you're like, yeah, I'm in this 100%. I know I'm not going to get everything I want all at once, but I'm willing to, I'm down for this marathon, essentially. So once you have like that kind of mindset as well, and knowing you could take this step by step, piece by piece, you will grow. I promise you will. And then you can get to a place when revenue starts coming in to, start outsourcing for these different things. Again, personal experience. This year, I'm in my almost 5th year of my business. This year, a few months ago, is when I hired my VA. Before that, I was doing everything myself. So take your time and build, grow, learn, be willing to make mistakes, and it will come.
Good stuff, good stuff. All right, guys, you have just enough time to go to the quiz. This one, all right. Let's see. Yes, you have taken all the lessons. Let's remember, guys, all these answers, wrong or right, are reflection on you and not me, okay? So, let's see. Question 1. Traditional, but not digital, forms of marketing involve creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. True or false? Send me in the chat, guys. True or false? Natalia says true. Sorry. True. Cindy, false. Zachary. False, 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 false. Okay, okay. The falses are coming in. All right. I'm first. Let's go first. False. All right. When creating your personal brand, you want to make sure that it is A, B, C, or D. Consistent, promotional, unique, relatable, clear, concise, prominent, trustworthy, focused, consistent, trustworthy, relatable, unique, trustworthy, clear, and focused. All right. All right. C, 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 C. See, 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 see. All right, all right. See coming, hot and sweaty. All right. Number three, when building your website, there should be on every page, including your about us page, contact page, testimonials, review, and descriptions for your product and services. Design, content, domain name, URL, products, all of the above. C, E, all of the above. All of the above. E. You're kind of split in the middle there, boy. I see more all of the above and the rest. I just remember, guys, reflection on you, not me. All right, let's go. Your target audience uses these to search for topics related to your business. Search engines, domain names, websites, keywords, and descriptions. A, B, C, D, or E. Okay, okay, okay. See, coming in hot with the D, all right. Wow, D. You can optimize your website for search engines by using keywords in your websites. URL or your website's URL, page titles, image descriptions, meta descriptions, all of the above. All right, I see now. Daniela says all of the above. It's all. All right, all right, all right. I'm hearing you guys. Nice. Within digital marketing, you have a variety of tools and methods you can use to strategically target your ideal buyer. This type of marketing involves creating free content and paid ads to promote your business on social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Snapchat, and Twitter. Traditional email, social media, digital, all of the above. B, C, D, all of the above. C, all. I'm making this hard to find consensus. C, social media. Ooh. All right, I've seen some C's. I'm going with C. We'll see. Right? All right. What kind of marketing involves hiring people or businesses that have a large online following to promote your products or services to their followers? E. Ah, they got easy one. Huh? Okay, okay. All right. When creating a digital marketing strategy for your business, it is important to map out the customer journey so that your marketing is relevant to customers at every unique stage. True or false? True, 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 true. All right. Woo, woo. Yeah, okay. Very good, very good.
Responses are coming in hot.
That's right, that's right. The gaining in confidence. By creating marketing goals that include each of these characteristics, you make it easier to develop steps toward achieving the goals of your digital marketing strategy. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, timely, all of the above. Okay, okay. All. All right, good stuff, good stuff. Digital marketing allows you to market to everyone and doesn't require you to target your marketing to fit your ideal buyer persona. True or false? False, 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 false. Wait. Digital marketing tools are the software markets. Digital marketing tools are the software marketers use to track, analyze, and automate digital marketing campaigns. True or false? What say you guys? True or false? Okay, I've seen it come in. See now you choose. One. Oh, all right. Okay. Nice, true. Very good, very good. This tool allows you to manage your business's relationship with customers and clients and ensure they're moving through every stage of your customer journey. Social media management tools, customer relationship management tools, search engine optimization tools, website analytics tools, all of the above. Okay, I see customer relationship management. All right. This tool allows you to create, edit, publish, and organize all of your website's content. Email, social media, search engine optimization, content management, all of the above. So DD, D all, D. All right, I'm going to D. When using social media to promote your business, you want to make sure to tailor and repurpose content to fit what your followers expect and enjoy on each social media platform. True or false? True. 3, 4, 5. True. 6. True. All right, true. Public forceful there. Partnering with social media influencers who are popular among customers in your target audience and paying them to feature your products is referred to as product placement, advertising, customer relationship management, email marketing, all of the above. Maybe A. A or B, guys. A or B. Yeah, I see y'all saying B there. Let's see how many of these you got right or wrong. Woo. You have 2 answers are incorrect. All right, so let's go. We can start with the last one. So if it's not B, then what is it? It's not A. All right, go to A. A. Everybody say A. Okay, product placement. All right, and the next one you got wrong was when building your website, this should be on every page, including your about page, contact page, testimonial reviews, description for your products or services. So it's not all of the above. design. Wait, what is it, guys?
Content.
Content. Why content? You can talk. It's fine. I like hearing your guys' voices. And we'll split about this one. Woo. See, domain name, but I mean that kind of makes sense. But seeing B, seeing even seeing E, design. Design will be on the page, and descriptions for your product service. You guys all over the place. I just go in, mini, more. I said B because somebody spoke but I said B. Let's see. You get through. Lovely. All right, that's. I want to see you guys. I don't know if I can see. Show chat participants. You all.
Hi, Shem. Sandra here. How you doing?
Sandra, I saw you in the chat. I was very happy. Right? Very happy to hear. Sandra has been our financial helper. Right? She had an excellent workshop over the last 2 weeks. There are a number of the participants here in the chat, but here as well. So you are saying hi to them as well.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Nice to be here. And thank you very much. Is it Ricqcolia? I don't know how you pronounce your name.
Yes,
It's
I was
really
so happy you got that right the first time. Most people don't.
Ricqcolia, right? So Ricqcolia, thank you very much. I do appreciate being
Welcome.
here, and I do appreciate what you presented, because social media is something that is like a taboo for most of us. You know, it's so highly I should say wanted, because everybody wants to be on the social media platforms. However, we don't have the know-how and how to get there. I being one of them as well, you know, because we think that we want to go on, you know, all the different ones like TikTok and Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. And you're right, it's very difficult to manage all the platforms at the same time. So I really like your suggestion as to just take maybe 2 platforms and use it. And then when you reach that stage that you are comfortable doing it, it will, you can then expand to the other platforms to expand the reach. So it's really awesome. I am happy that I was here. I wasn't here for the entire piece, you know, just the end, but whatever I heard was really insightful. So thank you very much for being here, and thanks for being part of this fantastic workshop. Thanks again to Shem and the Entrepreneurship Hub. Thank you, guys. Have a fantastic day.
Thanks, Sandra. Anybody has any more feedback for us and Ricqcolia?
Yes, I wanted to say one thing. I was to say thank you as well. And part of what she said, like you want to post and you're posting content and you're not aware of your colors, your palette, you post just anyhow. And then you ask yourself why you're not getting the necessary results. So now I understand. And the other question I had, if you're using Google and it's free, can you attach a domain to it?
In what capacity exactly? So is it that you mean you want to start like one of those free Google sites that until you're ready to build?
Correct. Yes, free Google site.
Yeah, so essentially the difference is when it comes to the domain is essentially like the name of, or like what's driving people to your website. Once you're creating one of those Google sites, it'll sort of also create that for you. So it will, instead of it being though let's say sisterisledigital.com, it'll be sisterisledigital at googlesites.com or something like that. When it comes to when you are buying your domain name, so like, you know, there's GoDaddy, there are a few others out there, but I know GoDaddy is the one that I would have
Oh,
Well,
good.
I'm gonna say me, but my web developer did it for me.
Mhm.
Like he registered the domain name and all of that. Essentially it means that you're securing that name. So
Right.
in a similar way to your business name, once you register it locally, I forget which ministry you're doing that under. Is it legal affairs? Right, it's legal affairs.
Mhm.
So if let's say I decided to go forward with Sister Isle Digital and I blew up all of my social media accounts with that. And now I'm ready to get like a business loan and all of that because I haven't registered the business under legal affairs. Now I have to change my name because the name exists. Somebody else has registered it. It's a similar thing to when you're buying a domain name for your website. So you can buy and you can secure your domain name. If you know, all right, this is something that I want. I don't want anyone else to buy it or anything like that. You can buy it and you can secure it, but you may not necessarily be in a position to build the website. So when the website is being built, the web developer is gonna, put together like the content, yes, set up the e-commerce, the about us, he's gonna build out everything for you. But he'll need to know what to put it under. So you can have the domain name, but the only thing with the domain name is that you have to renew it annually. So if you want to hold on to it, you'll have to keep that in mind that you'll have to renew. Even with me, I still have to renew my domain name for my websites annually every year. So just keep that in mind. Yes, it is very cheap to hold a domain name, but it also depends. There are a few caveats with it. So some names may seem as if they're like, some names can be cheap, but then there are other types, also some domain names that can cost you a lot. And I think it has to do with, again, it kind of come to like search as well. So if it's something that is like a popular something that people naturally search for. So for example, travel.com. Travel is a word that everybody's gonna be searching for. So like if you want to register travel.com, I'm pretty sure it exists already, but that may cost you like, let's say 500 US to buy and then, of course, renew and all of that versus something like Travel Trinidad. That may not cost, well, there you go. There it is right there. Travel everything is connected, and that's why we talk about SEO a lot because it's about how people are finding you. So if you have a name that is expensive, that is something that people would commonly search for, it may I think you have .com twice. That's probably why. If you have a name that is something that everyone is going to be looking for, the cost to secure it is going to be a lot more expensive. I think I saw someone say .org. I believe there's some caveats with the .org though. I'm not a web development expert, so on this side of things, don't quote me, but I think you have to have a .org if, let's say, it's something like an NGO or something like that. I can't be wrong. Also things like .co instead of .com, those tend to be very costly as well. I think when I was in the process of trying to register Sister Isle Digital, and I tried to do Sister Isle Digital.co, it's really expensive. So there are a few things that go into what would bring up the price of a domain name. But in addition, just to the cost, try and think about something that people can easily search for. My name, it's Sister Isle Digital. I registered my business when I was working in Tobago at the time, and it just kind of like sprung from there. But the digital in Sister Isle is what helps set me apart a bit, because now people are looking for digital anything like digital marketing, and I have keywords on my website that includes like Trinidad and Caribbean, I think, and that sort of thing. I'm also increasing the likelihood that my website shows up when people are searching for digital and digital marketing.
And one more question before I go. What site would you recommend for a food business would be better for a food business? I know TikTok it's
I mean,
bringing
social media.
social media, yeah, for social media.
So again, things like that, I don't like to just give like a one-off answer, because a lot of things I would say would go into like a response like that. So if you're in food, yes, TikTok is great, but do you have, or are you in a position to create regular video content to maintain a TikTok account, because with all social media platforms, you know, you have to be consistent. Even though they were speaking about consistency with your online brand, consistency also speaks to how often and how frequent you post. And no, I'm not saying you have to post every single day, but having a regular cadence, whether that is twice a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, once, whatever it is, having that level, that frequent consistency is very important. So if you're not in a space where you can create video content on a consistent basis, you run the risk of kind of like, yeah, I'm going strong for like a month or two, and then I fall off because I just didn't get time to post a video or shoot video or whatever the case is. Whereas with like a platform like Instagram is actually a great space. And I'm saying that tentatively because, again, what I would recommend in terms of the channels that you utilize would depend on a few things. Like if your audience is there, like your specific audience, everybody's on Instagram, yes, but it's your target audience on Instagram. But the thing with Instagram that you can get away with, unlike TikTok, is that yes, there's reels on Instagram, but you can also post carousel photos. You can post statics as well. You can do stories and that kind of thing. So you don't have to think, all right, well, I don't have enough video content or whatever, but I would advise that if you're doing food content, investing in ensuring that your visuals are strong. There are certain industries where when it comes to social media marketing, and if you really want to get that buy-in, having very strong visuals is essential. And I'm sure Shem, you know, can definitely chime in on this. You see, the food industry, you know, you want to create, it's all about not just selling the food and saying, hey, look, I have macaroni pie or I have stewed chicken. It's about, you know, you want people to be like, when they see the, like, they want to like fall into their phone, you know, like they, like their mouths are watering, like they want it. And food is an experience as well. You know, it's not just about consuming. It's an experience. It's how you feel when you eat. It's, you know, the flavors. It's all these different things. And food, when it comes to the visuals, it has to convey that and create that desire as well. So your food or whatever you're offering may be the most delicious thing ever, but if your visuals are not showcasing that, it's the difference between me going from this, like just like scrolling, to whoa, what is that? You know? So food, fashion, there's certain industries when it comes to the visuals, you have to, and you like know that, yeah, it has to be top notch. And again, Shem can speak to that for sure.
Sure, I'll chime in as well. So like what we do typically, so I do run a wedding business.
Wedding, right.
And when we consult with clients, we ask them, well, tell us how you booked us, right? And they would, it's surprising to us now, they're booking us or coming to the decision to book us before even hitting our website. And so they are deciding amongst themselves, looking at our Instagram feed, right? So they will come, they'll look at ours, they look at other persons, and they make that emotional decision then and there. So I don't think I've updated this site for 4 weeks, but yet I will still see people coming and following, right? Because I know, okay, right now it's white, it's clean, it's bright. That works, right? Once upon a time I had dark stuff, right? Somewhere down me. I had dark stuff, right? But I wanted to create stuff, but that wasn't the mood and aesthetic that the clientele wanted to feel for their wedding day. So all those things is like mapping the path of the customer, mapping the emotion, like what you want them to feel, and biggest takeaway, but behind, as Ricqcolia said, for highly visual products like weddings, Instagram, I'm honestly not on TikTok, right? Because TikTok is video, and I try to promote photos, right? And I'm meeting my business goals on Instagram, from Instagram. And customer part, they haven't even, yes, I have a link to my website, but they are booking me from Instagram, making a decision. And I come to the website just to contact us. That's my 2 cents there.
That was well said. And, you know, you mentioned a few things there that I wanted to touch on. So yes, I always say like having a website is important. He may not have updated it, but the visuals is something that can be the difference between someone scrolling and saying, yo, that is my wedding photographer, right? So there's that. And also too, if Shem hasn't, let's say Shem hasn't checked out or been on his social for some time, you know, because life is lifing, and, you know, he's busy with work, he's busy with Ehub, you know, he's doing all these different things, you know, if he's not in a position, and that's the reality, you know, we have other things going on. If his website has, let's say, a booking consultation or like a free consult, something, contact us, or something where people can set up like a consult or a call with him, he's essentially generating leads for his business on autopilot. So he may not necessarily be online, but his business is functioning without him even, you know, having to physically be there, having to actually be online, you know? So that's important as well when you're thinking about like the user experience. Someone, let's say I'm about to get married and I happen to come across, you know, I don't know, it's Saturday, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, I can't sleep, I'm scrolling through reels and I happen to come across a photo of his, and I'm like, yo, okay, definitely want to use Shem as my wedding photographer, but it's 2 o'clock in the morning, right? I can go on his website and I can get more information that I need in terms of packages. I can get some, I'm not sure everything. If you want to go back to your website, Shem, I can get additional information. I can get some insight into probably like where he's done stuff before. I can, you know, there's some more information I can get from him. So I can start saying, okay, well, you know, I can start getting into the whole decision-making process. And then, you know, I fill this out. And then by, let's say, the following Monday, I can then know, all right, well, my consult is in the bag. You know, so this is why it's important to have a digital presence, because versus, let's say, having a shop on the corner, because your business only functions between these very set times. Whereas you're with a digital business and having a strong online presence, you're essentially creating a customer journey. Remember that you're creating a customer journey that hits people at different points and ensuring that you are showing up for them no matter what. And one other thing, that was the other thing I was supposed to mention. I said a few things. So when I started investing in the photography, if you have a food business, I'm not saying immediately. It's the same logic that applies as to whether or not you should hire a social media manager or a content strategist immediately. If budget is a priority right now and you're not in a position to outsource yet, you can still at least invest in a good phone. You know, there's so many smartphones out there right now where, again, we're in a time where cameras on this is, I'm not saying it's like at the level of, let's say, Shem's equipment, but it's just as strong and just as impactful. And again, you know, doing your research, there's tons of resources out there, YouTube videos, a lot of tutorials on how to really perfect mobile photography and mobile videography. So you can start, you know, capturing some shots yourself. Again, this is something, Shem, I'm sure you can speak to in terms of like beyond just going on auto, like, you know, actually including like the manual settings. So your photography, you know, it can be as comparable to, you know, what you may see a professional photographer does. And that can sustain you until you're in a position to say, I'm going to hire, not, well, I know Shem focuses on weddings, but, you know, let's say he wants to get into food photography, then, you know, you're already in a position when you're at that stage to hire him, you at least have a bank of content to work with. And you guys will be surprised at the kind of content I've seen being shot on mobile and video. So a lot of the TikToks that you guys see, a lot of the reels, a lot of the photos you guys see, you know, more often than not, it's done on mobile. It's just understanding the settings well and knowing the best lighting. I'm just throwing out words, ISO, and all these different things.
Well said, well said. That is correct. No one is going to love your product like you, and you know exactly what your product looks like in its best light. Once you know the rest of it, the rest of the design and how to capture, whew, let's go. All right, guys, I know we took you guys like 20 minutes over, right? But thank you, Ricqcolia. That has been exceptional. I thought I knew a little thing about marketing, but you have schooled me, and that means I'm sure it has been valuable for many of us. So
no problem at all. Always happy to help.
Thank you. All right, guys, everyone. See you guys next time.